Grab Life by the Goals is the podcast for passionate badasses to get inspired, activate their potential, and crush their goals. In a nutshell, we do big shit around here. Whether you're looking to disrupt your career, start or grow a business, or simply have a more kick-ass life, you're in the right place. Come to be inspired, find your swagger, dream bigger, and take actual steps to level up your life. All with a side of real talk and raunchy humor. I'm your host, Lauren Widrick. I'm a life and business coach, and I'm right here on the roller coaster with you. Are you ready? Let's do this. Up my badasses, welcome back to another episode of the Grab Life by the Goals podcast. We have got a power couple on today. We've got Emily Breeze Watson and Montell Watson on together to talk about balancing business, babies, and bliss, and all the other amazing things they do together in life. So Emily and Montell, welcome. It's so good to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yeah. So Emily, I first learned about you a long time ago when you were mostly doing fitness online and you were making some national news stories for doing CrossFit while you were pregnant. And I've been following you ever since and kind of seen your evolution over that time. So talk to me a little bit about what you're doing today as an online business coach and all the other things that you're up to.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, we've got 4 little kids at home under the age 7. So we had 4 kids in 5 years, all planned, and they entertain and keep us very busy. So lots of shuttling them around and being mom and very present, but also being able to thrive and own businesses. So that's really why I love the online space, because you can create and build a business in your time, right? And so that was really important and powerful for us. So yeah, right now I love to pivot and change. So evolved from fitness and owning yoga studios and teaching boot camps with Randy Moss and just really making Charlotte fit. And I still love fitness. I still do fitness all the time, very consistent every early morning, but it's really become kind of my special place that I love to not be on the phone and not film every aspect of it and just kind of have my personal and me time, my self-care. So now we've shifted to like my real life. I'm sitting in a car right now on this podcast. So I really like to be authentic and share with you the day-to-day life and the lifestyle of our family.
And go follow Emily on Instagram. Her handle is in the show notes. She has an incredible personal brand and an account, and it's so relatable to a mom like me. I have 2 kids, and all of the posts are hilarious. You guys have me Montell's in some of the posts. They have me cracking up. So it's really, really good content. So Emily, did you know that you would be building a big personal brand? Was that one of your goals?
No, I never had a goal to, I guess, be a social media content creator and influencer, but I always had goals of being an entrepreneur and owning my own businesses and creating the life that I wanted to live. And so with that, social media became present and that opportunity was there. And I think from day one, I always said, like, I'm just going to keep it real on here. You know, I'm not one who can have all of my clothes matching and my makeup done and my hair perfect and all this stuff every day and show up. So I showed up exactly as I am. And that was always key. And it's been really helpful because I am showing up every day and it's easy for me to show up every day. And it's not stressful or hard to think about because it's exactly what's going on in my life.
Ooh, okay. Later in this episode,
I want to jump in there real quick on this because I think it's always important as people think about this. For her, she started off as documenting, right? Now it's kind of transitioned into content creation, but she was blogging when blogging was popular, right? Like that was, 15 years ago almost. And so started off blogging, and then social media and Instagram and everything became, popular. And then she just documented herself working out or documented the family. And then, CrossFit comes and you're a CrossFitter and everybody loves CrossFit. And, it kind of blew up from there. Like you mentioned, Lauren, on also documenting the fact of working out while being pregnant. And everybody's like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? And that was a big big key, I guess, kickoff moment from a social media perspective. So I just wanted to add that piece.
I am so glad you brought that up. And I want to take some time in the episode to actually dig in with you guys on social media. I have so many questions. I know our audience does too. But Montell, I want to dig in with you for a second too. So when I first met you, you are an executive at Movement Mortgage. We get to know each other a little bit professionally. And I realized that you and Emily do that. And you have multiple businesses and real estate and coaching and all of these things going on. So tell the audience a little bit about what you do and what you're passionate about.
Yeah, so I lead our diversity lending platform at Movement nationwide, and very, very passionate around home ownership in minority communities and underserved communities. It's something I've been passionate about, probably since the day one of my first job. My first job actually was with the Stagecoach company. I won't mention the name of it, but in 2008, right? So I'm a previous college athlete. I'm told, you get to help people save money or pay things off quicker during the one of the biggest crises we've ever had, right, during 2008. And so I'm super excited, but I'm actually doing the opposite of helping people. Like during that time period, you're taking away from people. We were giving people loans they probably shouldn't have had. And I remember, walking out my last day there, I did a car loan at 160% loan to value, 28% interest rate. And the only benefit was $1,500 cash out, Lauren. And I took a step back and said, I can't do this. And so I walked out. That was my last day there. And that was such a key moment for me, because that was one of my, Oprah's quoted saying there's 5 key moments in your life. And that was one of my 5, right? And that helped me know that I wanted to be someone that helped create generational wealth. I wanted to be someone that helped people, purchase homes and make strong financial decisions. And so fast forward, I got my Series 7, 66, met Casey, our CEO, and joined Movement. And it's been a fun ride. I've led large scale teams from a sales perspective, and as me and my wife get the opportunity to start businesses, and we got a salad shop, we have some real estate that we own, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so let me see if I can keep track of everything you guys do. Okay, so Montell, you work at Movement Mortgage. You've got a salad shop. You've got real estate investments. You've got an online coaching business. There's a fitness business. Have I missed any business and career stuff? I haven't even talked about kids and life.
Forgot about the fitness one.
Right?
Yeah.
This is why I wanted to have you two come speak at the Grab Life by the Goal Summit, is you guys are doing and pursuing a big, busy life. And that is one of the biggest excuses, I'll just say it, excuses that people have for not going after their dreams, is that I'm so busy. I'm busy with work. I'm busy with kids. Yeah, sure. I'd love to start that business or train for that marathon or get in shape, but I don't have time. And so my question for you guys is, how would you advise somebody who's saying something like that? Like, I want to do it, but I can't because I'm already too busy.
I'll let you jump in there first, babe.
Yes. I mean, obviously we all have the same amount of hours in the day. So I think it's just prioritizing and being consistent with your choices is really big, and how we manage and how we kind of navigate through our busy life. So, fitness is a non-negotiable for me. So every day, Monday through Friday, my husband is at home with the kids, but I get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym before anybody else is up in the house. So it's going to get done. There's nothing that can come between it, because if something is going on or going wrong at home, he can handle it. And then, I'm able to navigate businesses and the kids throughout the day when everybody is awake and up. So for me, it's like just prioritizing. When you see your calendar and you make your calendar each week and each day, and you fit in all the things that need to go in there, and fitness and businesses and all that stuff go into my calendar, just like going to a job.
I love that.
Yeah. And the only thing I'd add to that is, I think that from a family perspective, we understand our why, right? Our kids is number one. And then from there, it's all prioritization. You prioritize what's important. And man, I'm a firm believer of whatever it is that you want, you can define the life that you want, right? If you want a life that you have a family, you have your fitness, and you own businesses, like, you can define exactly what that is, and you can execute on that life. I'm a firm believer of going after what you want versus what you need. And Lauren, I know you and I both read 10X is easier than 2X. And we go after what we want in life. A lot of times people will discourage you and say, oh, you can only have 3 different things. You're going to be successful with 3. I've heard that. I say it's bullshit. I think you can have and do any and everything you want. You need to prioritize. Now, by all means, like you mentioned, the fitness business runs itself. We don't even touch the fitness business. It is literally one of those businesses that, like, I was not kidding when I was like, oh, I forgot about that when you started listening. you don't touch it. We do not even touch it. Granted, we probably could dive into it a little bit more and grow it a little bit more, but that's not our priority right now.
Yep.
And so from understanding your why, prioritizing what you want to do, and you go attack it and you build the life that you want. And I'm a firm believer in that.
What do you guys think gets in people's way? Because you guys are making it sound so natural and easy. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Like, just go make the life you want. So why do you think people get stuck when it comes to, like, for instance, waking up at 5 a.m. to work out every day, or fitting in like a busy schedule? Where do you think people get tripped up?
I mean, I think fear, failure, and excuses always jump into everybody's head. I mean, they jump into ours, right? I mean, everybody gets those in their mind, but it's being able to turn them off and navigate against them, right? So social media, I think so many people that talk to me, they are like, well, I'd like to do X with social media, but what if nobody likes it? Or what if, but nobody follows me, or whatever it is? And I tell everyone, social media is like any other job. It takes time. You have to start, you have to build a foundation, and you have to work. It is hard work, right? And you have to be consistent at it. And you might fail a couple of times, and being able to pivot and change and being okay with change, I think, is huge on social media, with businesses, and being an entrepreneur. And part of my mental and my personality, I love change. I always joke and tell people that my only constant is my husband and my kids. I love change. And I mean, every day I want something different. And if I'm like, oh, tomorrow I want to create another job, or I want to do something different or change what I'm doing, I'll do it. And I love it. And so I think just being okay with change and being okay with failing, or maybe it not being perfect or exactly what you want, and just letting it evolve over time, is super important.
Preach.
Montell, do you have anything to add where people get tripped up or stopped?
I mean, my main thing is I would just double down on the fear aspect. I think a lot of people are afraid to fail. They're afraid to be uncomfortable, and they're afraid to get outside of their comfort zone. We go through life. I always think about and talk about the lizard brain. Your lizard brain gets comfortable. It's like your brain's like a computer. It's like it starts to give you those things that you do over and over again, and just make it easy. Don't do anything outside the norm. Don't wait. You haven't been waking up at 5 a.m. Why do you want to wake up at 5 a.m.? That's not what we do. That's what your brain tells the rest of your body, right? And so for you to try to wake up at 5 a.m., you got to reprogram your brain and your mindset around it, right? And so I think the fear a lot of times holds us back, and it's not easy to start something new. It's not easy to start to work out if you're not in a fitness program. It's not easy to start a business. It's not easy to. I mean, Lauren, I seen you at the what is the place, the coffee shop uptown Charlotte, and we were talking about the kickoff of the coaching program, and I'm thinking like, oh, we'll get it out in like a few months, and it's like, well, you can probably do it 2 weeks. And you know what? We could, and we did.
You did.
Right. And it's like the fear of, well, what if we launch it and nobody shows up or nobody does it? What if it's not good? What if all of that fear of that failure is what holds a lot of people back, no matter what it is that you're trying to do? And once you get over that, man, just put your head down, have patience, have persistence, and just keep going.
Once you get over that fear, I think you're free. Like listening to you guys and Emily, what you were saying earlier, you're like, I can spin up a new business today if I feel like it. I love change because you don't sound afraid of the things that we're talking about here. So I hope that this is inspiring anybody on the line. There's something you want to do and you're afraid it's going to look stupid or it's going to fail. It's not going to work out. You will live. You will live. You will learn what you need to learn, and you will go again. So these two are walking examples of it.
I got one more piece of that. I'm sorry. I had to double down on that. And when it comes to social media, most people don't post because of that exact reason. They're afraid that they're going to sound silly. Mm-hmm. They're afraid that someone is going to make fun of their content, or, oh, this person, they're going to say something to me about my content, whatever it is. And 9 times out of 10, that person is not someone that you want actually as a part of your audience, and they ain't going to buy from you. Right. So don't be afraid of what their opinion is. I had to throw that piece in there because as I know, as we went through the whole social media starting place, we went through that exact same thing from a fear perspective. It's like, oh, I don't want to.
Did you?
So, yeah.
Were you afraid?
Yeah. Me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I guess at times, maybe in the beginning, but I guess I also want to touch base on, I think that a lot of us might expect our family and our friends to show up for you. And I would say that that's not always the case. And like he said, that's not your audience. That's not your client. That's not your buyer, or whatever it might be on social media. And that's okay. You know what I mean? And I think, like you had mentioned earlier, like once you get rid of that fear or step away from it, it is so liberating. It's freedom. I mean, it's like I said, when I said I was going to show up and not have my makeup perfect or my hair looking a mess or whatever it is, it's so liberating not to care, and to just be like, this is me. I'm going to have so many people that will support me and love me and appreciate it. And then there's going to be other people, some of them might even be like my friends or my family or whatever, that aren't. And that's okay too. Like, you got to let it go, because otherwise you just get stuck in that mud or the lizard brain, like he mentioned, and you don't move. And I think one of the best things to do is just keep moving and keep doing and adding. And why not? Like, why not do more?
Why not? Oh my God, I love that. This seems like a good time to dig in with you guys on social media. So you've just launched a new coaching program. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, like I kind of mentioned to you before we got on here, was I personally have a social media platform where I work with brands and businesses and share their products and that sort of thing. And then I also work with businesses, small businesses to even larger ones, where I help them run their social media. And so there was a gap for me, because there's always friends of my kids' friends' parents, or people out in the community asking me questions and wanting to know more and wanting to understand it. And what is this social media? So I just felt like that gap there needed to be accessible for people that aren't either Nintendo that I'm working with, or the local Charlotte company that I'm running their business, right? Their social media for their business. So I wanted to be able to help the teachers that wanted to kind of have a side hustle and share lesson plans or things like that, and little small bakeries that were like, hey, could you help me with social media and how to implement these kind of things? So that's where we came up with the coaching, kind of bridging that gap.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I was just going to add the additional aspect. There's so many folks out there that they don't know how to monetize the social aspect. You have the businesses that already have something that they may need a little help tweaking to launch a new product, or they don't even want to touch their social. They need somebody to help run the social. To the person that is a stay-at-home mom, is like, I want to learn how to leverage my social media to create a side hustle and monetize it, right? And everything in between. So it's a cool kind of, it's a cool offering where you can actually, coach with myself, coach with Breeze. I help from the business monetization side, the systems. Breeze helps from the social media strategy. You get a little bit of best of both worlds, and you get it for a very, very affordable price, right? Where you get a consultant and a coach. And so it's something that's, it's been successful so far. And we got some folks even from starting place of a very quick turn time. And so it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to help people go from X to Z in their business and see some success. So
I'm just getting that from you guys in general. You seem to have a huge passion for helping people with fitness, business, social media, their personal finances, whatever it might be. It seems like you guys just have a strong drive to serve. Do you feel that? That's something you guys talk about?
You got it. You have to give value and not expect anything in return. And that's one of the best ways to approach businesses is like, okay, how can I provide value to other people? I learned that lesson is like, man, don't go searching for the dollar first. Provide value and the dollar will come. And so if you focus on adding value to someone else's life, there's probably a monetization aspect in it. So that's a big piece of what, how we approach it.
So here's a question. What is like the number 1, 2, or 3 like tip or philosophy that you have for people when it comes to social media?
That's a good one.
Well, number one, we always talk about this is press play. We always say that over and over again because so many people will get stumped on even creating a video or a picture or whatever piece of content they have. They won't post it. So we always say press play. Just post it. Just post the content. But then you have to figure out who your audience is, what you are trying to share with others, how you're trying to provide for them and help them, educate them. So figuring out that and figuring out how you're going to help them solve a problem.
And
that's so good.
I'd ask you just got to be consistent. You have to be consistent on social. I mean, you got to show anything you do in life. If you're disciplined and you're consistent, everything else will follow after the fact, right? I am a micro influencer at best, and I nowhere near my wife over here, but I just started to be consistent in posting once a week, and I've gained 500 followers in like 2 months, right? Like in a very short period of time. And it's just purely off me being consistent. I'll add one other like little hack in there. I'm using ChatGPT right now, and I use ChatGPT because I had a fear that we talked about earlier. I have no issues with picking up the phone and just talking to. I have no issues with that. That was not my gap and what stopped me from posting. My gap was I hated to write the caption. I absolutely hated it. It would stop me, Lauren, every single time. I'm like, oh, I'll go back later and I'll do it. And then now ChatGPT writes every one of my captions. And so I'm able to pump content out a lot quicker and easier with Breeze laughs at me, with no gap, right? Like I don't worry about that caption piece now. And I've grown my followers the small followers that I have now, I've grown them 500 the last 2 months. Right. And so that's my one piece is like, stay consistent. And gosh, there's so many tools out right now, like with ChatGPT can write your entire social strategy. Right.
It can. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all are busting all of my bullshit excuses because I suffer from all of these things: consistency, overthinking, not fear. Like I have all of these same problems, and just listening to you guys for 5 minutes, I feel so empowered. Like I'm going to press play on some crazy post after we hang up and it'll be fine. It won't be perfect, but you guys are inspiring me to just go for it.
I love it. Well, I think another thing too is like finding out what works. So like what works for me will be different than for you, and then different from Montell and the next person, because I think just having some sort of idea or strategy, like for me, I do 2 posts a day, and I'm able to do that because I have an assistant. I think creating content, I'm in such a routine of it that it's not hard for me, right? But if I ever did get into like a rut of it, then I'd be okay. You can take breaks, you know what I mean? And you can give yourself kind of that freedom of space to kind of take a moment, take a break. And then I show up on stories. And I think everybody would be a little different, but like whether it's 1 post a day or 3 times a week or once a week or twice a day, whatever it is, figure out what it is and be like, I'm going to do that for 2 months, 3 months straight.
Mm-hmm.
And make that plan, stick with it, and do it. Sometimes the content's not going to do great. Maybe one of them will explode. Who knows? But just do it for yourself. Like it should be your own personal challenge. Like, all right, here's my goal. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to do it for X amount of months. What will happen? What's the worst that can happen? You just created a bunch of content. Like, I don't understand why people just won't press play.
You're just making it like, I love the energy around this. It's like, yeah, no shit, just press play. Like I'm going to go do it right after we hang up, like, because we had this conversation. So this is the effect that being around people who are doing the damn thing, they just inspire you to go do it yourself. And that's why we're having the Grab Life by the Goal Summit, is to get people in the room who are doing the damn thing in all different areas to inspire one another to, like, basically, as I like to say, quit dicking around and just take some messy action. You will survive.
Right.
Okay, one final question about social media, and then I think we can begin to wrap up. So how do you deal with the haters and the internet trolls? Because when your account grows to the size of Emily's in particular, I know, like I've seen some of the comments that come through and they're just like, what? So how do you deal with the haters?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely will see some wild, outlandish stuff, but I think you just have to have thick skin and move on because you don't know that person. You're never going to know that person. 9 times out of 10, it is someone who has zero pictures showing who they are, zero post showing anything about what they do. So you just kind of have to take it as it's either not a real person or it is somebody that has some sort of account that they do this to multiple people. You're not their only target, and it's okay. Like it, why would you waste your energy and your time when you can be spending it with your family or your friends or creating a business or content or whatever? Like you have to just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every, like, if you think about it, man, it's like for someone that has no idea, because 9 times out of 10, they don't know who she is, who you are. And you get a lot on some of the posts that go viral, right? You get a lot on the viral posts. So this is somebody that more than likely had never seen your content as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for an opportunity to they're in a bad place a lot of times in life, and they're looking for an opportunity to talk shit to someone about something.
Yeah, just to like lash out at someone.
Yeah. So you got, and during the early stages, whenever Breeze went viral with some of the posts with Bly when she was pregnant, I mean, your first emotional reaction is like, I'm gonna jump on here and let this person know about themselves, right? That's your first reaction, and then you realize it's like, what am I like? I have now become the troll. Like I am now the troll that's arguing with the troll. That's what happens, and it actually becomes pretty entertaining because then you start to see other people that that are Breeze's her squad, right? Her people that follow her start arguing with people, and I'm like, well, let's let them handle it. They got it. They'll handle the rest of it. So,
well, it is great because I've seen it too on your account and other big accounts. Like the people who love you jump to your defense. You know what I mean? And so you don't have to out troll the trolls. Your squad shows up and supports you, and like it's 1% or less than 1% of the people who follow you that are just assholes. And then everyone else there is there for you because you're serving and giving value. So yeah, let's not out troll the trolls. I hear that.
I heard it saying, Lauren, you never argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who is who. So let it go. You let it go.
God, you guys are badasses. Did you always know you'd have this like big multi-passionate life?
I feel like I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing. And I really love creating exactly what I want, and that will continue to grow and continue to change. And I'm so excited for that. I really, wherever we are and whatever age and whatever place we are with our kids and our businesses and our interests, I love, like I said before, I love the change, and I want to just keep changing and making sure that we're always happy and we love what we're doing. And I think that helps. It helps our marriage. It helps our family. We spend so much time, all of us, with a business or working in some capacity, so it needs to be something you like.
Manifestation.
It's so good. Last question. Do you guys have any big audacious goals for the future?
What's your goal for start of the year, Breeze? I think that's a big one. I think that's a cool one around starting about the kids.
Oh yes. I do. I want to create a children's book. So that's really important to me. Our kids are biracial, and so they all have 4 different hair textures. And, with that comes so many emotions. And so I really just want to showcase that, and highlight that and, give sort of an inside look of what it's like growing up in a house with lots of different hair textures and loving yourself in every stage and in every moment and loving everything, that God blessed you with.
That's incredible.
Thanks.
I love that. What about you, Montell? Do you, or both of you, have any big audacious goals for the future?
I want to have an asset for each kid.
Yep. I love that.
We pass it along to them. We pass them an asset, right? So an asset for each kid. That's my big goal.
My sister and I talk about, she's a real estate broker, and we talk about that too. We're like, graduation gift is a house
That's right.
that you can, rent or take part ownership of or whatever, not necessarily free and clear, but like something to get you started.
That's right. That's right.
I love that. I love that. Mine is to fill a 6,000 person arena at one of these summits. So give me a couple years. It's going to be huge.
Let's go.
I love it.
Oh,
this has been amazing. Thank you both so much. I will put both of their accounts in the show notes so that you guys can follow them. And this is a great example of why you should get a ticket to the Grab Life by the Goal Summit, January 6th and 7th in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's at the Marriott Uptown. Emily and Montell are just 2 of about 11 amazing speakers. It's going to be so much goal setting, so much motivation, so much networking. And it's just the best possible way to start your year is in this room with people like these 2. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Grab Life by the Goals podcast. If you loved this episode, I would be thrilled if you subscribed wherever you listen to your podcast so that you can get notified when an episode drops and we can rendezvous like this every single week. If you're feeling frisky, maybe slap a 5-star review on this bitch and maybe even some comments about what inspired you from this podcast episode. This is simply so more people can find us and join our squad of badassery. I love me some Instagram, so come find me. My handle is @LaurenWidrick, and if you screenshot and share this episode with your peeps, I'll come shower you with all the virtual hugs and kisses. Until next time, grab life by the goals, my friend.